President Biden heading out of Washington this week for a swing through western states in an attempt to highlight the Inflation Reduction Act and clean energy manufacturing work. At the same time, the administration receiving criticism from manufacturers for what they see as an onslaught of regulation. Joining us right now is National Association of Manufacturers President and CEO Jay Timmons. Good morning to you. There's been a lot to tout on one end, but there's been a critique on the other. Where do you land? Where would you grade this administration at this point?
You know, you always ask for a grade, Andrew. You'd be a great teacher. But let me just back up by saying that there are good things that have come from this administration and this Congress. Certainly the CHIPS and Science Act, infrastructure investment, many of the policy provisions of the IRA. But to the point that you just made, we are very concerned about the onslaught of regulations that are coming down that are going to drive up the cost of doing business in the United States. So on one hand, we have a manufacturing strategy that Congress and the administration has been putting forward, which is great news, you know, to really prioritize growing manufacturing here in the United States. But if you are compounding that with actually three things, one is the amount of regulations coming down. We're engaged in about 100 regulations coming out of 30 different agencies. Permitting issues, slow permitting, which is making it difficult for manufacturers to actually build those facilities that they're willing to invest in. And then thirdly, some of the provisions that have been enacted, there's either confusing guidance or no guidance when it comes to actually accessing the funds and the credits that are available for manufacturing. So all three of those things together are making it very difficult for manufacturers to compete and succeed in our global economy right now.
So, Jay, here's the question. And it's, you know, look, there's a big question about industrial policy to begin with. Some people say there shouldn't be these incentives at all. Others say if there are going to be incentives and other types of programs like this, they should come with strings attached in the form of regulation. Others say there should be no strings. It just should be a straight incentive program that attaches nothing either on social stuff or on some of the regulatory sides of it. And I'm not sure that it needs to be black and white, but there is a question is which one everybody wants.
So I don't know that it needs to be black and white either, Andrew. What I would say is this. If we believe that the United States needs to maintain our manufacturing edge, our technological edge, our economic edge in the world, then we do have to have a manufacturing strategy. There is no question about that. And it needs to start at the highest levels of government, and business and government need to work together. And they need to do so in a cooperative way. I think we've done that quite well over the past several administrations. If you think of the Clinton, the Bush, the Obama administrations working very, very aggressively to open markets overseas for products that U.S. manufacturers make, getting those products out. That's to other areas of the world. That was a great achievement there. The Trump administration, they focused on a competitive tax structure, which was very, very helpful for manufacturers to be able to utilize our capital right here at home. And they had some regulatory certainty that really helped us understand kind of where directionally the government was going. The Biden administration, as we just discussed, CHIPS and Science, infrastructure, IRA, those things have all been good. Now, put all that together, we're unstoppable unless the government starts to say, well, now, wait a minute, we want to do it this way, we want to do it that way. That can work as long as we're talking about something that's pragmatic and not aspirational. I'm afraid this administration is looking at things in a very aspirational way, whether that is the SEC.
That goes to the question then of, okay, so what are the actual, let's just go through it on a detailed way. What are the pieces of this that you don't like? Because I think what happens is taxpayers sit around and go, oh my goodness, we're spending all this money on the CHIPS Act, for example. Right. And then some people, and we'll see 5-10 years from now, whether this has done remarkable things or has turned out to be a mistake. I think there's folks who look at some of the clean energy policies in this country and some of the incentives that are now put in place and say either this is going to be a fabulous thing for the country or it's going to turn into some kind of wild boondoggle. And whether these regulations that are being put in place or at least being proposed will help temper or help tamp that down if that's the case.
So, look, I think, again, what is our priority? Our priority is to grow manufacturing. Let's look at some of the specific regulations that are being considered, of those 100 I've been talking about. So you've got EPA with its NHTSA and NHTSA's CAFE standard. That is very aspirational, and the pathway to get there, we're not saying, by the way, let me back up just a second. We're not saying no regulation, Andrew. We've never said that. You know that. What we're saying is let's make these regulations sensible and smart and achievable. The CAFE standard right now is the bridge to get to where the administration would like to be is too short. We need to work with industry to make sure that we can actually achieve those things. The SEC Scope 3 regulations, same thing. The SEC proxy rules, SEC cybersecurity rules. EPA is implementing its PM 2.5 standards, which is going to chill manufacturing investment or stop manufacturing investment in many areas of the country. And then we're looking at some of the potential for the president is talking about, or the administration is talking about, a potential executive order on outbound investment as it relates to China, which, by the way, of course, China is a huge competitor that we need to be very aware of, and we need to take on head on, but we need to make sure that those potential regulations that are being issued by the administration are sensible and achievable.